Hey guys, welcome to the first episode of Sunrise at Sunset, where it is not only acceptable to geek out, it's strongly encouraged. I'm your host, Skylar Clark Kent, and I'm sitting here with my co-host for the week.
I'm Caleb. It's great.
Yeah, it is. So before we get started, I feel like I have to preface this with something, and that is that I have only picked up maybe 5 comic books in my entire life. So if you're sitting there wondering, which you will at some point in this podcast, why does it sound like this guy has no idea what he's talking about? It's because, well, I have no idea what I'm talking about. So I look at these movies, these things from geekdom, and I just look at how they affect me, as a whole. Not necessarily, it could be the worst adaptation in the world, and I wouldn't really care as long as, it did its job. It entertained me, so, you know quite a bit more than I do, though.
Well, it's like I usually know a lot more about the lore. Like, a few years ago, I got like the character encyclopedia for DC, and I just read that in an evening. So
that's the way to do it. Screw trying to catch up on 50 years of comic books. It's like, just get the one, but this will tell me everything I need to know. So that's the way to do it.
I just do that, and I actually go to YouTube and watch them like read the comic books. I'm like, oh, now I get it. Now I know what's happening. Why spend $80 to go get the entire in-depth thing?
Yeah,
a lot of people are just like face palming listening to this right now.
Exactly, these fucking noobs. Okay. Anyways, with that being said, let's get into the geek news. Let's geek out. So, we both know that Lego Movie was a great success. Very good. Much better than I thought it was going to be. I figured it was going to be good from just a nostalgic standpoint. And then you get in there, the writing is phenomenal. It's so good.
Well, I mean, he has Morgan Freeman in it, and that's just bound to be a good movie.
Phil Lord and Chris Miller. I think they wrote it also. I know they directed it. I'm almost positive that they wrote it. But guys behind 21 Jump Street. And actually, go kind of off topic here for a second. I think that they're doing The Flash. They're
gonna make a Flash movie too.
Yeah, they're writing it. Not sure if they're directing it, but
like a Lego Flash.
No, in the DCU.
Oh, okay.
The one with Ezra Miller.
All right. Cool.
Guys behind 21 Jump Street and the Lego Movie doing that, which I think that's perfect. Yeah. I think his sense of humor it works perfectly. But
they use I grew up with Wally West from to me he's just the snarkiest, most annoying one. He's great. so that's my favorite Flash.
Right, but how do we get on that? We're already outside. Oh, Lego Movie. Lego Batman is happening. Will Arnett coming back to voice Batman. They have made 2 casting decisions in the last couple weeks. First one they made was for Robin. Is they've got Michael Cera.
Oh, okay.
Which in if they were going dead serious, I'd kind of be wondering, but in the kind of comedy world that they're going for with the Lego Movie, I think it makes sense. I think it's perfect. I sort of think of Jonah Hill as Green Lantern.
Yeah, and they're trying to make us laugh. So of
course, so he's just gonna be kind of goofy, probably awkward, like Michael Cera is.
Well, he's gonna be like Batman's little. That was about to get really weird. I mean, he's just gonna be like, I imagine, just completely subservient to Batman and have no idea what he's doing, and Batman just gonna facepalm every time he does something.
Yeah. But the more recent one is Zach Galifianakis cast as the Joker.
That'll be hilarious.
That will be very. It would not have been my first choice. Only because it's going to be interesting to hear him kind of go like really over the top. Because Zach Galifianakis to me usually just seems more like his style of humor is kind of blunt, and also very like low key. He's just kind of very. Either very sarcastic or very stupid, but in a very low-key way. It's going to be interesting to hear him kind of let loose.
Yeah. Wish Robin Williams is still around. He'd be involved in these. That'd be hilarious.
Man, that would have been great. He wanted to do a Batman movie, like, really bad, apparently.
I wouldn't doubt it.
He wanted to play a villain so bad.
He would have made a great, like, either, like, Riddler or Two-Face. So, I feel more Riddler, because Riddler is just ridiculous.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Speaking of which, I'm curious to hear someone else's opinion on. I actually really like Batman Forever. And this, like, I know it's like it's not good. It's not technically good by any stretch of the imagination, but it's really entertaining. I like it a lot.
Well, way back when they like, especially it stopped at the Spider-Man movies, the older ones. They try to make comic movies comic booky.
Yeah, very cartoony.
And that they did a great job of that, but the issue was like it was the editing and like things lingered too long. Why did we focus on that for an hour and a half?
Yeah.
And
why are there nipples on?
Yeah, it's just like everyone's like,
why is Mr. Freeze making puns?
Well, why not?
I mean,
I feel like that's the one they did right. I mean, I thought it was an okay movie. When I was a kid, it was a Batman movie, so I'm like, yeah, it's wonderful.
Right,
and like watching it as an adult, I'm like, yep, I was a kid when I watched that.
Yeah. And oh yeah, when we get into the main topic later on, I definitely have something to say about Mr. Freeze and Two-Face.
Okay.
But for right now, getting back to the news, first set photos were leaked of Black Panther's suit from Civil War.
Oh.
What do you think about those?
I didn't see them. I need to. But I can't believe it's too hard to represent a black suit.
Yeah, it's pretty much that.
I bet it looks like a bit more combat-y. Like, like a chest plate sort of thing going on. Like they would for Nightwing. Did you see that? Yeah, but I mean, I almost missed, like, way back when they did a Panther movie. And it was an all purple spandex suit. Oh my god, did it look terrible.
That sounds unpleasant. It sounds very unpleasant.
It was like, why did... I don't know why they decided to choose that to stay with the comic books. And like nothing else in that movie.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a purple suit and he's gonna look ridiculous.
Yeah, definitely. And me being completely unprofessional, I forgot who's playing him. I cannot remember.
I bet it's a black guy.
I was gonna say, whatever I say is gonna come off extremely racist because I'm gonna be like, was it that guy in that movie? What? No, just because he's black? I'm just like, was it the guy from 12 Years a Slave? No, why? Because he's black? No, I just think it's him.
Will Smith might do decent with that.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, they've got him in I mean, if he wasn't in Suicide Squad, then
he is. Who's he in?
Yeah, he's Deadshot.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's gonna be great.
It is, man. I think I have a lot of faith in it.
Yeah.
DC's just doing so good with their casting.
Well, I feel like DC's at one point gonna blow Marvel out of the water simply because their comic book superheroes are just so much more intense and fun. Like you have Superman, the paragon of all good. You don't have that in the Marvel universe.
Yeah. Okay. Moving back on, we just saw this first photo of Mark Hamill from Star Wars, looking very, very reminiscent. I thought of
I thought it was Obi-Wan at first.
Yeah, looking very much like Ben Kenobi.
Yeah.
From New Hope. And
I saw it and I was like, oh, we're just looking at old photos that had never been released. It's like, no, these are new. It's like, oh, okay. And no, they did a really good job.
Oh yeah.
So Mark Hamill was also in Kingsman. Did you know that?
Was he really?
He was the professor who got just like his head blew up.
That's awesome.
Beginning. Yeah.
I didn't notice that. That's good. I love that movie.
That movie is good. Fantastic.
It's so good. So bloody and awesome.
It's goofy and it's a goofy in a fantastic way.
It was like a more over the top version of Kick-Ass, kind of.
Well, it was obviously very Bondy, but like old world Bondy, like and just like when they didn't care. It's like, I have a cigarette with a missile in it. That's how I'll kill you.
Yeah, it was a cross between like old school spy films mixed with like young adult novel, but also just incredibly violent and bloody.
It started off as a graphic novel, and they're gonna treat it like they do the Bond franchise and just make a million of them. So
I'm so excited for that. I'm so happy that that's getting a sequel. That's definitely gonna be a podcast for another day. Is sequels, because there's some great ones happening. I'll save it for then. But let's see. Official descriptions and character names released for Power Rangers, which I don't know why it was labeled as this, as if we were getting new characters and new character descriptions.
Well, it's okay. So for all it's been forever since I've seen old Power Rangers. So it's better than
best
going
Power Rangers.
Yeah, the Mighty Morphin Power
I
Rangers.
stopped after Mighty Morphin, to be honest with you. I was kind of done. After that, it's just silly.
Yeah, they went to like 11 new traditions, like transitions. I can't talk today. And I'm like, what is this nonsense? And they couldn't stick with it for more than a season and a half.
Mm-hmm.
It was awful.
That being said, there was the episode where they like all came together. It was like, what was it? It was either all the Red Rangers or all the Green Rangers, like all teamed up, and it was just, oh, it was so cool.
That'd be cool.
I want to say it was the Red Ranger, but I'm not sure. Okay, moving along, we have what's very old news at this point, but I figured we may as well talk about it anyways. The Deadpool trailer.
Oh yeah, that was hilarious.
Just had a refresher course on that. Just watched that again. Oh my
God. Starts off like it's acting like it's gonna be serious, and then it just loses its mind.
Yeah, the first like 30 seconds are very real, very very grounded, and you're sort of wondering where they're gonna go with this.
No, they're gonna mess this one up too. Damn you, Marvel.
That being said, I think one of the first jokes is don't make the super suit green or animated.
Yeah,
which is such a good joke. But coming right off of it being so somber, it was sort of, it was kind of jarring.
Yeah, it's like I didn't like it was because that's what Deadpool does. He has like about 2 seconds of serious nature, and it's all just a lead up to a big joke that you're just gonna end up killing you.
Yeah.
And he did that, and it was obviously there's gonna be a lot of that in that movie. There's going to be a lot of breaking the fourth wall.
Oh, I hope there is. That's what I'm looking forward to most.
Yeah, and there's probably gonna be a lot of I wouldn't doubt there being another joke at Green Lantern's expense at some point in that movie.
Well, I know at one point in a leaked version of the script, and I hope to God that it's in this one. I kind of doubt that it will be. Is he goes and finds Hugh Jackman. Like Hugh Jackman is playing himself, and he goes and gets in Hugh Jackman's face, and is like so upset with him for what they did to his character in Origins.
That's hilarious.
Now, what I think would be really great is, like you said, there's a couple more shots of Green Lantern, is if he comes across himself, if he comes across Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, no, it would be great if they came across Ryan Reynolds as they're shooting like Green Lantern and just punches himself in the face.
Oh God, that'd be great.
Like, don't do this.
There's so much potential with this, and I mean, apparently this is still a rumor at this point, but it's taking Deadpool 2 is taking the spot of Fantastic Four 2, which, as much as I know Deadpool's getting a sequel, we all know that. There's no way that it's not at this point. But that being said, I would love to see that and Fantastic Four 2. I'm one of the few people. Well, I feel like I'm the only person in the world at this point who liked Fantastic Four.
Well, the Fantastic Four movies were. They were still back when comic book movies were comic book movies.
Oh yeah.
And those are obviously treating it a lot. And Deadpool will constantly be ridiculous comic book character.
Yeah.
And people will want to laugh more than be stunned any day.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to get everyone interested in like a really like great movie. Like Interstellar did it really good.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't need a lot of comedy. It just had these cool, high-minded concepts. And you're like, oh, yeah. I feel like I'm smart now.
Yeah. What's really blowing my mind about that, and I'll have to do a whole separate thing on my full thoughts about Fantastic Four, but what I find really interesting about that is that it wasn't even a lot of people coming in saying they screwed up the characters, this was a terrible adaptation. It was people saying it was a bad movie, it was badly made, this and that and the other. And meanwhile, I'm coming out of the midnight premiere like, I had a lot of fun with that. Well, that was really good.
Don't get me wrong, I'm very easily entertained. The only movie I saw right through, just it was Rush Hour 3. I sat through that movie and I'm like, well, I saw it coming.
Yeah.
I was 14. I'm not supposed to see things coming.
Yeah. I mean...
And it's very easy to entertain me.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched the Fantastic Four movies. I was like, they're all right. And of course, we're kids when we see these things.
Yeah.
And we don't have like these super critical minds.
Yeah, I went back and watched some footage and oh my lord. Mr. Fantastic's bachelor party when he's dancing around and like just very... It's gross. It's very disturbing.
Like, okay, for example, in contrast of that, years before, you know The Mask, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jim Carrey was such a flexible character.
Yeah.
That when he was doing that weird, like he was dodging the bullets by bending, they barely had to add any sort of actual thing to it. And you know, they depend so much on CGI these days.
Mm-hmm.
It just... And I understand that some CGI is necessary to create certain backgrounds and feelings, but like we were talking earlier sort of about Mad Max, how it was amazing. They didn't need a lot of CGI, and it was still visually astounding.
Yeah.
So...
But, I mean, I hope Fox sticks by it and makes Fantastic Four 2. if for no other reason than to really, really try and
who knows, it might
just stick it to the haters.
Yeah, it might just be the best movie ever. Yeah, and they really.
According to the internet, it's not. You know, it's got lower ratings on Rotten Tomatoes than Batman and Robin.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
which I don't know. I mean, I may be easy to entertain, but I know Batman and Robin is bad.
Yeah.
I know that's terrible. And also take into mind, once again, I picked up 5 comic books in my life. This is coming from the guy who loved the Green Lantern when I saw it. I still kind of like it. I mean, I get that it has issues. The CGI is not very good. For some reason, Parallax is a cloud. Yeah. Very much like Galactus in Fantastic Four 2. I don't know what was with that thing when supervillains were clouds, but like very much like a space anus. But
well, and I watched a lot of the story arcs for the comic books, and specifically the Green Lantern, and this one was about the White Lantern, the one who like could control all the spectrums, and at one point, like all of the entities that entered him, and they all had a very specific form, and you could tell the artists were like, no, it looks like this because this is what greed looks like, or this is what hope looks like, and it was extremely good, and I don't like that they just completely throw that out the window for big scary smoke monster. Yeah. This isn't Lost. They should try to have fun with it.
This isn't Lost. I've actually never seen Lost. It's on Netflix, and I need to get to it before I have it spoiled for me again.
I think
I've had like 3 different movies and TV shows spoil it for me, and I still don't know what happens.
Yeah, it's that intense. Like at the end, I've only seen it to like the 3rd season before like stuff happened.
Yeah.
And I need to get around to just watching it again. So it's a great show. And it was hinted at in what was it? In Arkham City. You can see the Joker talking about all this, and Mark Hamill was a big fan of that show, and he starts talking about like as an example a TV show, and a TV show he theoretically watched, and it's like, and in the end it all ends with a church, and we don't know what's happening, and you're like, oh, he's talking about Lost, because that's how we all feel about it.
Yeah. Okay. Next up, we just watched this interesting little viral video that's going around. It's very kind of History Channel inspired. It's New Yorkers being interviewed about the Avengers Battle in New York, and it's pretty genius. It's really smart what they did with it.
Have you ever seen The Onion News? It reminded me a lot of The Onion News.
Yeah, very much so. Where it's taken very seriously.
Yeah,
it's treated like real news, and meanwhile there's just this ridiculous shit just being talked about. This dude is like so stereotypically New York, and there's just this moment when he's talking about all the destruction that's going on around him, and then he stops and he's like, and that's when I realized the game was gonna be canceled. And I mean, these were good fucking seats, man. It's just like, oh, it's brilliant.
And like, yeah, it's at one point a woman's talking about like how the Hulk had just run through the building and killed like, I don't know, Barry or John or something. And it's like I could have had a corner office and a Barry, and he took that away from me. And I thought it was so hilarious.
Yeah. Also, suck on that, anyone who's like, hey, how come the Avengers could save people and Superman couldn't? Well, maybe they didn't. We don't know. I don't think Marvel's going to talk about how many people died in the battle. Someone died in there. Come on. There's no way that no one died during that.
I had an idea. It was what if there were insurance agencies specifically for collateral damage from superheroes? Like how much of an enterprise
They'd be
would
rich.
That be? Yeah.
They'd be rich. The country would be out of debt.
That would be fantastic.
Or maybe go farther into debt. I don't know how debt works.
When you pay for things with money that's not yours, you're in debt.
Okay. Next up, we've got some casting rumors about Spider-Man.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
Yeah. Now, once again, apparently The Amazing Spider-Man 2 was terrible. I thought it was my favorite Spider-Man movie.
No, it was. All of them. They treated Gwen Stacy's death very well.
Oh my god! Spoilers, by the way. Spoilers for.
If y'all haven't seen it by now, y'all had it coming.
Spoilers for probably everything that's come before it, and speculation spoilers maybe on stuff that's going to come up. But I thought Andrew Garfield was.
No, he was great.
So perfect.
They really did show it's like, oh, the Rhino's going to be in here. He was in there for about a minute, and I was like, and now we're just all rolling our eyes. And
yeah, my main issue with that movie is that everything was given away in the trailer.
Yeah,
everything.
I like I saw it. I try
the
not
Sinister
to
Six tease, which is the end of the movie. It's like he's walking past like the Vulture's wings and all this. I'm like, what are you doing?
Well, this isn't fair. But it's great. They treated Green Goblin well, and
he was so good. He's terrifying. He scares me every time.
Because the original Green Goblin was his dad. I forgot his name.
Norman Osborn.
Norman Osborn. But teenager versus billionaire adult isn't really conceptually make sense.
Yeah.
So
unless it's Willem Dafoe, and then it's like that's awesome.
But this time they did it to where it was more like, oh, childhood friend, now evil enemy. That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. Okay, but that being said, I'm excited for this new one. I'm into it. I mean, I would have preferred to see Andrew Garfield, trade quips with Robert Downey Jr. That would have been incredible.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, I haven't seen anything that this new kid's been in. He was in The Impossible a few years ago with Ewan McGregor. I didn't never get around to seeing that.
There's gonna be a new Spider-Man actor?
Yeah. It's like a they're keeping him actually in the appropriate age range this time. They got a teenager to play him. He's like 13, 14, 15 years old.
All right.
So that way they can kind of keep it going. But yeah, I'm interested. I'm open. I'm not one of those geek fans that's immediately like, screw this. I'm like, let's give it a shot. Well, this could be good.
I mean, it's like, for example, Marvel did this tastefully. They just said everything that's done cinematically, it's literally in its own universe. So you can do what you want with it.
That's the way I've always thought about it. People who, bitch and complain about that didn't happen in the comics. I'm like, this is its own separate universe.
Well, okay.
It's like it's exactly like if you were reading the Ultimate Comics and saying this didn't happen. This didn't happen in Amazing Spider-Man. This is Ultimate Spider-Man. That's why.
In Age of Ultron, you had Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, right? Did you know that they have an incestuous relationship?
I have heard that.
It's true. It is blatantly true that that's a thing that happens, and they couldn't just say that.
Yeah.
So it was heavily alluded to because you notice they're always very close together. And they're always holding hands, and something like you don't see them ever like not touching.
Yeah,
and it's crazy. So they're trying to say, yes, something's happening between these two, but we can't like tell you about it.
I mean, and that plus the fact Magneto is their father.
Yeah,
in the comics, and I mean they sort of hinted to that in Days of Future Past, but they never went anywhere with it.
Well, it's a lot of it's hinting. They try to imagine shoving 50 comic books into one movie. It's gonna be difficult.
Yeah, definitely. Anyways, back to Spider-Man though. Yeah, we've got some confirmed casting and then some rumors. For Peter Parker, we have Tom Holland, which, like I said, still like a fairly young actor. I don't know. I know he was in The Impossible. It was like the tsunami movie with Ewan McGregor and Nicole Kidman. Okay. Apparently, he was fantastic in it. That's what I keep hearing. For Aunt May, we've got Marissa Tomei, which kind of makes me laugh a little bit. Aunt May, Marissa Tomei. Oh, yeah. Very much one of those actresses. I know the name, but I can't place for the life of me what she's been in.
If I had to choose Aunt May, I'd go with I just need an old lady actor like Betty White.
I would kind of love to see that. Even though my main issue with the old Spider-Man movies is I thought Uncle Ben and Aunt May were too old. I loved their ages in The Amazing Spider-Man because it wasn't like Grandma May and Grandpa Ben. It was like
it was like aunt and uncle. Super. I was talking with a friend. I was like, I was watching Aunt May like dingle from the distance. Like, at this point, she's been in danger so many times. How does she know her?
She's had a heart attack by now.
How does she know that her nephew isn't Spider-Man? And my friend just looked at me and said, Aunt May knows. She doesn't tell, but she knows.
That's something they hinted to in Amazing Spider-Man 2, which I loved. That was a great moment.
Oh,
she sort of hints that she knows who he is. That I cried at that movie so many times. So much.
On the way back, we kept making dead Gwen Stacy jokes. Like, we were just terrible people. Just
Okay. Next up, we've got this is all rumors from this point on.
All right.
Adrian Toomes / the Vulture, Billy Zane, which once again, the thing I mainly know him from is he was the villain in Titanic.
Okay, so they're gonna make him look like an evil pedophile
with guy liner.
Yeah. So the Vulture always looked like he was just abducting children and taking them to his awful basement.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm into that. That seems like that could work. I personally would have gone with someone a little older.
Yeah,
oh God, what is what is the movie with John Cusack where there? What is the guy's John Malkovich? I would have gone with at one point they were talking about him back when they were doing Spider-Man 3 when Sam Raimi was making it.
Yeah.
But I personally would have gone with someone older. But I mean, I think it could work. One that is definitely very, a lot of people are definitely not sure with is for Scorpion, Jason Biggs.
Huh.
Which at first, everyone goes like the guy that fucked the pie. That guy? But I don't know. Looking at him, I feel like he sort of has the face.
Well, I mean,
of someone that could be the Scorpion.
Maybe we need to stop thinking about him as the guy who fucked the pie, and maybe as Scorpion.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
I mean, I can see it.
Shia LaBeouf went from annoying little brother from Even Stevens to
batshit crazy.
Yeah, it's just like insane.
Yeah. And of course, there's the rumor that Tony Stark appears in it, which I wouldn't be surprised at all. Where are we? Oh, and the two that I think could really work very well for J. Jonah Jameson, Hugh Laurie.
You know what? I liked the old J. Jonah Jameson.
Oh, he's so perfect.
Yeah,
he's the best. He's such a good actor, man. I love him. Have you seen Whiplash?
I have not seen Whiplash.
Oh god, he's terrifying. He's so terrifying. Like you'd think you're watching a horror movie, but like this guy's just getting down and ironically enough, he was J. Jonah Jameson. The kid that's in it is Mr. Fantastic.
Oh,
it's Miles Teller. So
it's
a good cast. Really good movie. But they're looking at Hugh Laurie for JJ, which I can see. I've never watched House, but I mean I know who he is.
Yeah, well, I mean he can emulate an asshole enough.
Yeah.
To where he can just get angry at everyone. Like, Parker, get in here.
Yeah. And one that I'm not sure if I believe because like I feel like the actor is just way too big is Robbie Robertson. They're looking at Forrest Whitaker.
Wait, Robbie Robertson.
That is the I know. I'm trying to think of how to describe him. He's what did he do in the last Spider-Man movies? I can't even remember. He was in the office with them when they were trying to. When he was the guy that was always sticking up for Spider-Man.
Oh, like Spider-Man's one friend.
Yeah, like the one friend in the newspaper business. That was him. I don't really believe that, only because I don't know if they'd cast someone that high profile for that.
It seemed like unless he's gonna play a major part.
Yeah, I mean, that being said, they do have Lawrence Fishburne playing Perry White.
Yeah,
he's not in it that much. But
what I want to see, a good version of Kingpin. Like, look, what they did in the Daredevil TV show, they did really good.
Yeah.
But I want to see him face off against Spider-Man because Spider-Man, a lot of his villains are like you can go punch them and you can fight with them. Kingpin, you can't get close to him. And you can't like convict him or anything.
Yeah. Okay, and the last bit of movie news before we get into the main topic actually sort of comes into the main topic, which is going to be what villains would we like to see and who we would like to play them in the upcoming movies, because we have a lot of them coming. We've got from now to 2020 we have a lot. We have a lot of them, so we have a lot of potential villains coming up, and this sort of ties into it. Once again, not confirmed at all, but excuse me, not confirmed at all, but apparently Lex Luthor is going to take Zod's body, which we did see in the trailer for Batman vs. Superman.
Right.
He's going to take Zod's body and somehow use his DNA to create Doomsday.
That would make sense, because originally it came from Spider-Man's DNA, but not Spider-Man. Superman's DNA.
Yeah.
Lex Luthor and Superman have not gotten together at all, so that would make a lot of sense.
Yeah, the whole idea, the whole rumor that's going around is that Lex is setting up this whole thing between Batman and Superman, trying to get them to clash with each other, so he has the opportunity to kind of go over here and do his thing. And apparently, there's all the shots in the movie where Wonder Woman's fighting someone. You can't see who it is. We sort of kind of assumed it was Superman. Like maybe she was on Batman's side and he was, trying to take her out. But, now it's sort of come across as it may possibly be Doomsday. I think what would be absolutely astounding, may piss people off, I'm not sure, but I sort of came to the idea of what if they were able to, like, reanimate Zod's body. So it was Michael Shannon playing Doomsday and playing Zod.
They had made such a point about killing Zod that I don't think he's gonna come back.
You don't think so?
I don't think, because I mean they otherwise they wouldn't have killed him. They would have like broke his legs or something, and there would have been a miracle cure for fixing his legs. But I don't think they're quite to the point of bringing supervillains back from the dead.
That's true. That's true. And where's the photo? I have to space here.
Mr. Rogers, the main character of the famous TV show, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, actually encouraged Deadpool. Well, he didn't encourage it, but he was okay with like just silence in his show because it taught kids patience. I thought that was really cool.
That's good. Geeks need patience, man.
Yeah.
Good lord.
They also need to be open-minded. Like for example,
yes.
whenever the geeks are very kind people. They just don't like change.
They'll turn on you. They'll turn on you fast.
They hate change in any way, shape, or form. Especially with stuff like that. Whenever we figured out that the stormtroopers could be black, they're like, no, you can't be. Not because they were racist, because it changed what they were, what they thought was happening.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, so on the main topic, like I said, we've got villains we'd like to see in upcoming superhero movies, and I've got the full list coming through. So let's just see. So starting off with Deadpool. I don't really know any of Deadpool's.
Deadpool.
I don't really know if he has villains to himself. He just kind of seems to jump in and out of people's stories and fights their villains.
One of Deadpool's villains is just as ridiculous. Mr. Sinister. That's a great name. He's the good guy. He and him clash often, but Deadpool just often finds himself in ridiculous situations. Like at one point, he's fighting like disco zombies in the 70s. Why? Because that's what the writer wanted.
That's fucking awesome.
So that'd be interesting. I don't know a lot of his villains though.
Yeah. And then of course in March 2016 we've got the big one, Batman v Superman, which we already have Lex Luthor confirmed.
Yeah.
Which I'm so excited for that. I think that may be one of the biggest things I'm excited for in that movie is Jesse Eisenberg playing Lex Luthor.
Oh yeah.
Because it's a different Lex Luthor, but the day after they announced, I didn't have one big opinion about it one way or the other when I first heard. I just sort of sat back and thought, that's different. That's definitely different. I slept on it the next day, watched The Social Network again, and I thought, man, this is so fucking perfect. Why does no one see how perfect this is? This is so perfect.
You mean you don't like Kevin Spacey?
Yeah.
Kevin Spacey can do so much, but just
they didn't give him a lot to work with for that.
They really didn't. He didn't make a very good Lex Luthor.
He was pretty goofy.
He did.
Like the movie was very, very somber, and he was kind of goofy.
At one point, it's like someone's like, Lois Lane was like, Superman will come save us.
And he's like, no, just tell me, I'm listening.
And he's like, no,
wrong.
And like you were, because that movie happened so long after everyone was desensitized from the old ones. After Quest for Peace, it needed a break.
Oh God.
That you didn't really understand why Lex was so mad at Superman because in that movie they had no history. They never met. And it's just so you were just like, why are they so angry all of a sudden?
Which I feel like they're definitely really gonna delve into that with the new one. Just from the way that I'm already seeing Jesse Eisenberg playing the character. He's playing it very much like it should be, which is like he's literally just like, I feel inferior to you.
Yeah.
Like, I feel inferior to you and I don't like that. I'm supposed to be the top dog around here and this guy comes in, I can't compare to this guy.
I was so I have a blog, and it's on Tumblr, and I roleplay as Hugo Strange.
Ooh. And
I've decided that Hugo Strange is an asshole, and he always wants power. So that's how it works a lot. Like he'll fuck with people just so everyone knows he has the upper hand.
Yeah.
And that's what I feel like a lot with Lex Luthor. It's like, no, I'm in charge. I don't care what I have to do, what links I have to go to. He was the freaking president of the United States for a length of time, and.
Hugo Strange?
No, not you. I'm talking about Lex Luthor again. I'm sorry. I jumped.
No, you probably actually said that. I just may not have been paying attention.
Oh, no, you're fine. But he had so much at his disposal, but he still couldn't compare to Superman. At one point, he literally made a formula to give people superpowers. That's how intense this hatred was for this man.
Yeah. Just very, just jealousy. Just all around.
Oh, yeah.
And I think Jesse Eisenberg is the perfect person to pull that off because people complain that he looked too young, he was too skinny. But I mean, I think why not have a physical representation of give him something else to be insecure about?
Yeah. Like I can imagine, like, what if they were giving him a vague health problem? And that would make him just feel all the more shitty.
Do you think that's a wig? I mean, obviously it's not Jesse Eisenberg's real hair, but do you think it's a wig for Lex, or do you think he's gonna lose it? I'd be pretty pissed at Superman if I had a luscious head of hair like that, and just.
I feel like something's gonna happen to where Superman somehow is the result of his hair loss, and he's just gonna wear it like as this badge of shame and vengeance. And I had this idea: what if he figured out kryptonite hurts him? And in the comics, he got cancer from wearing his kryptonite ring constantly. What if the chemo that, in theory, he would have led to his hair loss? Like, no, I like this look. We're gonna go with it.
Yeah, that'd be intriguing. Okay, and the next in May of 2016, we've got X-Men Apocalypse. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know much about the X-Men at all. That's why I liked X-Men Origins when I first saw it.
Apocalypse is basically just an extremely power-hungry mutant, and he will do almost anything to obtain power. At one point, he like ruled the world for a little bit. It was a whole story arc, and they had to like go back in time and stop it from happening. A lot like Days of Future Past. But obviously, the enemy is going to be Apocalypse and his Four Horsemen.
Yeah. And not really much to say about that. I guess
when they just give it to you. I heard in the next Guardians of the Galaxy that's going to be Hulk is going to be in there. Like
they're saying like arc. I would really, really, really hope to see that. And yeah, we'll get to Guardians here in a second. There's a few more right before it. Next up is something that I know even less about, and that is Doctor Strange. I would think that only someone who has read through the encyclopedia or read the comics would know anything. All I know is Benedict Cumberbatch is playing him. Right
would be great.
Right off the bat, fuck you, take my money. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
That man needs to be in everything. He's amazing.
So Doctor Strange is he has this like Tibetan monk magic, and he can it works a lot with like high-minded energies. Like you know, I have your magical energy now. What? But he often goes to like different dimensions, and that's an ongoing theme. It's like he'll go to different dimensions. And I watched like an animated movie about him, and like that's a lot of what the threats are. They're extra dimensional threats that he has to deal with.
Right.
And I can't really think of who the enemy will be. I imagine it'll be just that, some sort of vague extra dimensional threat that we just learn to hate for some reason.
Yeah. Seeming to be a pretty good cast there too. I can't remember who they have. Was his mentor always a female? Because I feel like there was drama at one point of like, why did they change that or something like that?
Oh, his mentor was an old guy.
Yeah,
that's what it was, and I don't know why they decided to change that.
Yeah,
but if they make it an old woman, there's almost no difference.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it. Okay, next up is a movie completely fraught with villains, and that's Suicide Squad.
Oh dear, this is gonna be fun.
I don't know whether I'm more excited for this or Batman vs Superman.
No, for me it's definitely Suicide Squad because Batman is less interesting than his enemies. His enemies are so
That's true,
awesome.
Yeah. That's definitely true.
And like I would love to see like references to Two-Face and all these other, because we know it so you know the idea of Suicide Squad, right?
Yeah.
All right. Like we should definitely see Amanda Waller in there. She's not the villain, but she runs it. If they don't have her, just I don't know, being
she's in it. She's it's Viola Davis from How to Get Away with Murder.
Oh wow!
I think she's in
that. No. Oh no, she also played. She was in Warehouse 13. She was the big in charge boss lady. And no, that would make a lot of sense because she is a wonderful, like, powerful character.
Yeah. One of the few people that I've seen able to stand up to Superman.
Yeah,
I can't find the picture of it. There's this great picture where she's got him backed up against the wall and she's just poking him in the chest. And he has this look for like, I would assume probably only for a split second of like, what the? Like he's kind of frightened there for a second.
Well, I mean, a picture similar to that sort of reminds me of. There's a picture of like it was for Arkham City, and it's Harley Quinn. Like she has this attitude stance, and Batman is like a foot taller than her, just standing in front of her and watching her. And so it reminds me of that. She's not afraid. Because he cannot touch her. She knows he is just morally sound, and she is safe because he's not going to hurt her in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
For using bad guys to do good things.
All right, next up we've got Gambit, which there's been a lot of like very interesting things happening with this movie. Like first they were saying that Channing Tatum was definitely dropping out, and now he's back in.
Channing Tatum needs to take a break after Jupiter Ascending.
I didn't see it. I was curious to see it, but not enough to like really get out of the house and go see it. Now I think it's at Redbox now, so I may check it out.
It's okay. It's not the best movie ever, but Channing Tatum, he just looked weird throughout the whole movie.
Yeah, he looks a lot like a '90s pop star.
He does.
His hair with the curly. He looks like like an elf version, like if the Backstreet Boys had an elf in there.
Well, it's like his DNA was infused with a wolf's or something like that.
Oh, wolf! That makes that.
And I was
that actually wasn't sarcasm. That actually makes a little more sense to me now.
Yeah, and I was watching it and I'm like, this movie could do a lot better. But Channing Tatum, after Magic Mike and that, just needs to take a break, do something, I don't know, deeply emotional.
Have you seen Foxcatcher?
I have not seen.
It's a slow burn, but it's worth it. He's fantastic in it, and Steve Carell. Oh my god!
He's in there?
Yeah, he got a nomination, an Oscar nomination for it.
Wow,
he's terrifying. He's so scary.
Oh, speaking of Steve Carell, have you seen like Seeking Your Friend for the End of the World?
Mm-hmm.
That movie like masquerades itself as a comedy, but oh my god, is it so sad?
Yeah,
that is. It really is a tragic movie.
Okay, next up we have something that makes me very sad, and that is Hugh Jackman's last Wolverine movie. What are we gonna do, man?
We're gonna cheer and throw parties. That's what we're gonna do. He has had 2 standalone movies. He's been in every single X-Men movie already. I'm tired of seeing it. Maybe they'll clone. Okay, here's how they kill him off in the comics, because he's dead. He's literally coated in adamantium. He's suffocated and burnt and starved.
Why did no one ever think to do that? Why did it take this long for someone to think about that?
Well, I mean, because his healing factor would almost bring him back every time. So I'm glad they're finally letting him go.
Kind of like really they're gonna have to put a lot of faith in their other characters, which is gonna be kind of cool to see.
Well, good. We don't have just an asshole running the show. We have like.
Well, I mean, we have a Gambit movie coming, so I think it's pretty.
We have a Gambit movie coming soon, so.
Yeah, so I mean, I think that's a pretty good. I think they have at least a little bit of confidence in it.
And Gambit's a really good character. I mean, for everyone, y'all have heard of Jubilee, if y'all were born in the 90s. Her powers are like useless.
I know her powers seem kind of. I watched like a couple episodes of X-Men the other day, like the first couple episodes, and I just sort of thought to myself, what the hell? What is her power? It's so vague.
It's like I think working with light.
Yeah,
and it's good for like stunning your enemies and stuff like that. Yeah, but you never really see her use it. And I'm glad they choose Gambit, who just has a badass power, and you'll be able to see him fight, and it'll be wonderful. If nothing but for that, so that'll be fun.
Yeah. Okay, next up we've got May 2017, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, which I'm so
so I went into that movie and I thought, oh, it's just gonna be a movie. I had never heard of the Guardians of the Galaxy before at all.
Oh, same here.
I came out and I was like, wow, do it again.
Now, what blows my mind about that, once again, spoilers. After this point, I'll probably just stop saying it, except for the beginning of every episode, maybe. But yeah, spoilers. What blew my mind about Guardians of the Galaxy was that Marvel's very good about making you emotional in their movies. Normally, though, they wait till the end of the movie to do that. They kill someone off, sometimes only to bring him back, which that's a topic for another day. I'm starting to get a little tired of that, to be honest with you. But Guardians was very much like, nah, fuck you. We're gonna make you cry right off the bat.
Yeah. It's like mom dies of cancer, child gets abducted, no closure. Like,
yeah.
No wonder he has all these lady issues.
Yeah, and it's like, not only are we gonna make you cry right here, we're gonna go back to the end of the movie and bring that back. That moment, oh my god, when Gamora is reaching for his hand, and he turns around and he sees his mom, and his mom saying, "Take my hand." Oh my god. I cry every single time, man. I'm a mess. Sad. I get old lady about movies, man. Especially superhero movies. I get very emotional.
Oh yeah.
But really, I don't know anything about their villains. I'd like to see more of the Collector. Although I don't know if he's necessarily a villain. I think he's just sort of like
he's just
he sort of just seems like he works for everyone.
He's doing his own thing.
Yeah,
and obviously all this is building up to the Infinity Wars, which is when Thanos gets the Infinity Gauntlet and just
fucks everyone up.
Yeah, just lays down some ass. And that's sort of what everything's leading up towards. And I don't know exactly what the enemy is gonna be. Who was the enemy in the last one? I'm trying to remember.
Ronan.
Okay, so I mean, it's. I feel like it's gonna be very close with the Thanos. In this one, you're gonna have what was it? You're gonna have the Hulk, so he might be an enemy or an ally depending.
Right.
And so it. I feel like it's gonna be very involved with that.
Yeah.
What I want to see for Hulk is the leader. In the Hulk universe, the leader is sort of the opposite of the Hulk. He's extraordinarily intelligent, like unspeakably smart, and they laid the ground for him in the first new Hulk movie. and they just never touched it again. They're just like, nope, we're gonna completely forget about this.
Yeah. Okay, next up, this one does not have an official slot yet, but the first Batman solo movie.
You mean like the million we've had before?
Yeah, the first Batman solo film with Ben Affleck playing Batman. Also, he's going to be directing it.
Oh,
which I'm totally into. He's a fantastic director, and Chris Terrio, who is working on the script for Batman v Superman, also wrote Argo with Ben Affleck.
Okay.
So it's like we're gonna have a solid script and solid direction.
Oh yeah.
Villains for this, there's a lot we could go for. I would love what I was saying earlier is I feel like for either Two-Face or Mr. Freeze, because I feel like he could do both really well, particularly Two-Face, I would love to see Matthew McConaughey.
Well,
I think Matthew McConaughey would make a fantastic Two-Face.
You need an older guy for Mr. Freeze, and I think you're right for that. Or wait, 1 second. Who's the dude who played American Psycho?
Oh, that's Christian Bale.
Yeah, well, he's already had Batman. But I think he'd make a good Two-Face. But
yeah.
You're right. That would be a pretty good cast. And I'm trying to think of like an older guy for
Freeze,
for Mr. Freeze, and like Stanley Tucci. I think that's it.
I could really see that.
Yeah,
he annoys the bejesus out of me in Hunger Games, and I mean, don't even get me started on his character in Transformers 4. Granted, that I didn't see that. I don't really blame him for that. I just blame Transformers in general. Oh my god, Marky Mark, what happened, man? Come on, you're better than this. Okay, next up we've got Wonder Woman. Once again, I know jack about her. I know there was the I don't know what her fucking name is. She was like a cheetah, and I saw
her name's just straight up cheetah.
Oh my god, you got to be kidding me.
That's how clever they're getting with names these days.
Now I see why she was such a small part in Justice League War. It's my favorite animated movie, by the way. Justice League War. It's so good.
Oh yeah. They could easily make the enemies simply the people from the Amazon area. I can't remember. Paradise Island. What if it was her fighting them because they decided let's do this thing?
Yeah, let's go up against. Is it a different dimension? Is it on Earth?
Yeah, that's on Earth.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
It's just they're always able to push everyone out of the way.
Okay, that makes sense.
It can get involved with the Greek gods and stuff like that.
Oh, really quick, back to Batman vs Superman. I can't believe I forgot to mention this. Have you heard? Also, it's probably going to be either Doomsday or this. There's no way that it's going to be both. But there's the idea that they're going to bring Aquaman as a villain. Because he was pissed about the whole destruction that the World Engine caused, so he tries to rise up against them, and they have to team together to fight him.
That make a lot of sense.
I would love that. I personally think I'd prefer that over Doomsday, because I'd like to see Doomsday in Man of Steel 2, so we could really kind of play with maybe the Death of Superman arc.
Yeah. What if it could easily be like towards the end, Lex has picked up Zod's body and is going to make a Doomsday later with that. But it would be cool to see Aquaman, because it is the Dawn of Justice, so Aquaman being involved in that at the end, it's like, oh no, we're not all terrible. We just had these aliens come destroy the planet.
Exactly. That man, there's so much they have to do, because Cyborg has a cameo. Apparently not as Cyborg though. It's just
pre-Cyborg.
Yeah, pre-Cyborg. And apparently Flash has a cameo. I don't quite believe that. It's gonna be overblown, but I think in a good way. I have a lot of faith. Zack Snyder is very good with like taking a lot of characters and really kind of giving them their own amount of screen time,
making them feel involved.
Okay, but back on track. July 2017, we have the first solo Spider-Man movie, which he's gonna show up in Civil War. Apparently for like only a couple scenes. He's not gonna be in it that much, but really, I would love. Yeah. It's not going to happen in the first movie. I would love to see Carnage at some point.
That would be great.
And you know what? Now they really have the opportunity to do it. There was the rumor a while back that that Jim Carrey had visited the set of Amazing Spider-Man 2, and people were saying he may be Carnage.
Oh, that.
And the funny thing is, it's the one casting rumor that I've ever seen. No one was upset about it.
Yeah.
People either went, that would be interesting, or they went, that's so awesome.
Yeah.
Because like, look at his character in like the number 23.
Oh, he can do serious. He can really well.
Oh, I think he'd be so good.
I want to see an actual Venom, Not Eddie Brock Jr. wearing a black costume. I want to see Venom.
Yeah. And I feel like I had to get this out of the way. I like Spider-Man 3. It has issues.
Well,
they could have done. I see what they were trying to do with, the symbiote makes him act differently, more aggressive, whatever. I see what they were trying to do. They could have made him mean though. Just make him mean. Like why is he air humping and just dancing down the street? I don't get that.
Yeah, no, he was being cocky. He wasn't
being
exactly. Awful. He just needs to be like cold and withdrawn.
Yeah, and if you're going to make him cocky, make him cocky, not goofy.
Yeah, that was I have a feeling
I at least applaud them. They tried something.
Yeah.
It fell flat on its face, but they tried. Next up, we have what may or may not be an issue is Fantastic Four 2. And I already forgot whether we were recording when we were talking about it. We were. We got the whole opinion on whether it was a good movie or not.
Yeah.
But really, Doom is the only one that I know.
Dr. Doom?
Yeah.
He's like their main antagonist, and I feel like he's not going to be is he going to be the issue in the first one? Do you know?
In the sense of what?
Like, is he going to be the villain in the first movie?
Oh yeah, he is. It already came out.
Oh well.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That's the one I was talking about. That's the one that I'm like, I like, and everyone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the new one has a score lower than Batman and Robin.
Okay.
You were thinking of the old ones?
Yeah, that were just not good.
Oh my God. Although it does have that fantastic chase sequence with Johnny Storm chasing the surfer.
It did have that.
That's such a good scene, and I don't know why the rest of the movie isn't that good. They blew the entire budget on that.
Yeah.
And then we have Noodle, Mr. Fantastic. What is it with Marvel movies and characters dancing just randomly? And you know what? We had it in Guardians of the Galaxy. But it worked.
That was his character.
Yeah.
He's just great like that.
I love Chris Pratt.
But I don't know a lot of the Fantastic Four villains. I wish I did. And this would make a conversation a lot more interesting. And I'd sound like I know what I'm talking about. But it's they might bring they might hint at Galactus.
That'd be very interesting. And not a big space butthole.
Yeah.
But, next, November 2017, we have Thor Ragnarok. And this is just becoming a running theme. I don't know any of Thor's enemies. Just Loki.
Thor's enemies are very old, gaudy, and they're not famous in any way, shape, or form that I can think of. But a lot of the issues are just internal. It seems that it's like, oh, we had to deal with this, and Loki's just fucking up constantly, and yeah.
Yeah, well,
and I feel like the enemy is going to be Loki.
I really think so. That's what I was about to say. Is that I think I want to say that Ragnarok translates to war or something like that. It's a translation of something.
It's the Norse Armageddon.
That's what it is. So I really feel like, like you said, I think Loki's going to be the enemy, because remember when we last saw him, it was the mid-credit sequence of Thor 2, and because once again, Marvel being Marvel, we can't leave a character dead.
No,
so we're gonna except for possibly Quicksilver.
No, Quicksilver's staying dead. He died way too early.
Yeah. Which kind of bummed me out. Like it's kind of cool though. I love Quicksilver, but that would be great. But yeah, last time we saw Loki was he had taken over. He'd taken over Odin. Where the hell is Odin?
Yeah, I don't know.
I guess we're gonna find that out. I think it's gonna be very internal. It's gonna be because if they're going with a trilogy like they did with Iron Man and kind of no more solo movies after that, that'd be the best way to end it.
I thought, okay, so here's a way you can tell if I imagine, like, if the directors were to use this, it would be really interesting. How you can tell if it's Loki or Odin. Odin has two crows that tell him everything. In fact, whenever Loki and Thor are having like the smackdown in the first Avengers movie, you saw crows scatter, but they kept flying around. Well, those are those crows who talk to Odin.
Oh,
and it's like you'd be able to tell.
Did they hint that in the movie, or was that like the comics?
That was in the movie.
Oh, okay.
And you'd be able to tell because of that. So it'd be really interesting.
That would be, yeah.
Loki's all about messing with you. He just gets so much joy from that.
Okay, next we got granted, all these are huge, but maybe the biggest one on the list is Justice League Part 1. Which people call it Justice League Part 1 and Part 2, but I don't think that's the case. I think they're going to be both separate movies, completely separate villains and everything. I would hope so, at least. Now, obviously, when you think the Justice League, you're gonna jump first to Darkseid.
Yeah.
I think that's gonna be Justice League Part 2, though.
Darkseid is like the enemy of the Justice League.
He's the Thanos of Thanos. I really you say Thanos, right?
I don't think it really matters.
I don't think it matters, but
I just pretend I'm right.
Yeah. But
maybe Lex Luthor again, because he is a constant threat. Or it could be like sort of in with Age of Ultron, they create their own enemy somehow.
Yeah.
Like there was one.
Or maybe just kind of Suicide Squad it and have like a couple of different of their villains. Like maybe Lex Luthor teams up with the Joker.
That would be interesting.
Like, oh my God, Jesse Eisenberg and Jared Leto working together. Oh man, that'd be fantastic. That'd be great. But yeah, I don't think Darkseid's coming until the second one.
He's too grand of a character to just throw in.
Yeah, like maybe they introduce him, or maybe if it is like a part 1 and part 2, maybe they introduce him in. Like they mention him, and it's sort of a build-up. Very end of the first one, we see our first hint at him. Yeah, and then part 2, they bring him in. What about
Brainiac? Oh my God!
How did I forget about Brainiac?
Brainiac would be awesome.
That's the one that everyone really thinks it is. I don't know how I forgot that. Because
I mean,
who could play Brainiac?
Anyone who it won't be someone who can be really cold and calculating. Someone who's just I can't think of me. I never remember his actors' faces. So.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Stanley Tucci.
Yeah, going back to Stanley Tucci, I could actually see that even more so. Oh, and that just made me think. Well, once again, I keep going back to Batman and Batman v Superman, but I know the whole topic is kind of villains we would like to see. But on the good side, at least in Batman's movies, I think Bryan Cranston would make a fantastic Commissioner Gordon.
Yes,
because he did the voice in Year One, and he's got the look. He could do it so perfectly. If they decided to bring Harvey Bullock in, I see John Goodman. I think John Goodman would kill it.
Well, no, John Goodman's a bit too big.
Yeah,
and I'm not trying to typecast or anything. I mean, he could do that, but he's just not as chameleonic as some of the other.
Yeah. It's just kind of like, oh, that's John Goodman. That's definitely John Goodman.
Yeah. Or what if what was his name? Why can't I think of this now? The dude who's almost won an Oscar all the time in the Titanic, Leonardo DiCaprio.
Ooh,
him as yeah.
Well, remember years and years ago there was rumors that he was going to be the Riddler in Dark Knight Rises. I would love to see that. Yeah. I think he could pull that off very, very well. And last one, I guess, before we move on back into the topic, is I think the perfect choice for some form of Robin, maybe Nightwing, I don't know, but probably Nightwing. Daniel Radcliffe. I think he kind of
that would work.
He kind of has the look for it.
We've seen him grow up, and in our heads, he like the one movie that he went from child to adult was Horns, but he would still make a great Robin.
Yeah, definitely.
Because everyone's or Nightwing, because everyone still sees him as this young actor.
He's older than me, I think. No, I think he's like 25 or 26, something like that.
Yeah, right around there.
Yeah, and since we're still on Justice League, this actually is kind of relevant. I get a lot of hate for this, and I don't really understand why, because people forget that the guy's a good actor. For Hal Jordan, especially the age range they're going, everyone's kind of somewhat older, like in their 40s and whatnot. I think Tom Cruise would make a fantastic Green Lantern.
All right, Tom Cruise is short.
Yeah.
But you can edit around that.
Yeah.
Personally, I just don't like Tom Cruise. I like him.
I love Tom Cruise so much.
I like him.
I may be biased, so.
Well, it's like, Oblivion was just a movie about him sucking his own dick. and he does wonderful in the Mission Impossible movies. I love him in those.
Have you seen Born on the 4th of July?
No, I have not.
Yeah, I think he was nominated for an Oscar. No, he didn't win it. He was nominated. Oh man, it's fantastic. It's a good performance movie.
Oh, I like him as like sly, spy action man, but superhero, I don't feel like it's a good transition for him.
Yeah. Okay, March 2018, we've got The Flash. Okay. This is the one that everyone is very upset about. Because, oh my god, why isn't Grant Gustin playing The Flash? Why isn't Grant Gustin playing It's a separate universe. They've said, and it took someone from the Flash crew to say flat out, these are separate universes.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, in a perfect world, if we had the time and the money and, all this time and stuff to set this up, it'd be great to see like a Crisis on Infinite Earths. where they bring the TV cast and the movie cast together. I mean, there's no way that's gonna happen. I mean, granted, I say that now. That's what we were saying, like, 10 years ago when someone said we're gonna make a Batman vs Superman movie, you would have been like, no, you're insane.
Actually, I had this. It was an idea. What if they were? What if Marvel decided to pull a DC and just crash all their universes and start anew? Mm-hmm. What if they were to have like these scripted live things happen in the real world, where you'd see like a person in a Batman suit and Superman suit come from this portal and do something, and they go back in. It feel like it's collapsing in on itself. All the universes.
Yeah, definitely.
I think that'd be pretty cool. But in my head world, it works out really well.
Okay, but Flash's villain, I kind of only have like a reference of the TV show.
Okay,
which is like Captain Cold and
Captain Cold, Captain Boomerang, the Top, Mirror Master.
I wonder if Captain Boomerang is gonna pop in because he is in Suicide Squad.
Captain Boomerang is a good character.
Mm-hmm. And I actually like the guy playing him, Jai Courtney.
You monster. Okay,
that was weird. We had some technical difficulties, but
the idea of the rogues in the Flash are not like regular rogues. They hang out together and they have a deal with the Flash. They won't kill anyone if he doesn't like immediately capture and kill them. If he plays their game,
you can't see this, but my mind has just been blown. I did not know this.
They are a family, like not really a family, but they get together well. They are the rogues are partners, and they just have this very on again, off again relationship with the Flash. The Flash stops them from doing big stuff like hurt. And if they do straight up murder somebody, the Flash will come down on them like a hammer.
Which, now that I think about it, I think they hinted at the beginning of that in the first season of The Flash. Because I think there's a moment where he does make a deal with Captain Cold, kind of similar to that.
Yeah.
Because he finds out his secret identity. That's right. That's right. That's awesome. I really like that.
And so they have this interesting relationship with the Flash. And the Flash is an interesting enough character to do that with. Yeah. Because you can't see the Batman rogues doing it because all of them have daddy issues.
They're batshit great. There's no way they're going to...
They belong in Arkham.
Yeah, definitely. But I don't know. As for actors who could sort of play that, I feel like they're going to go fairly younger, kind of keep around Ezra Miller's age range, which I really think he's going to be a good Flash. There was kind of some backlash for it, but and really I haven't seen a lot of his movies. The thing that I mainly saw him in was Perks of Being a Wallflower.
Okay.
And he was really, really good in that. He kind of had that good sarcastic kind of teenager-esque, really.
Yeah,
that's sort of how I'm not sure how old Barry Allen is.
This is breaking the universe. What if Andrew Garfield were to do it?
I really could see that.
Yeah, because it wouldn't be too hard to give him like this sleek like attitude. And because I mean, him and Spider-Man have basically the same kind of sarcasm about them.
Yeah.
And I could see that working out really well.
Okay, then we've got the beginning of the end, which is Infinity War Part 1. I feel like the villains for Infinity War and Infinity War Part 2 are probably going to be pretty much just Thanos.
I think
I think the end of Part 1, they're going to get their asses handed to them.
Oh, definitely.
And they're going to have to come back for the beginning of Part 2.
Yeah.
But we know we have Thanos, Josh Brolin. He's doing good, man.
He really is.
He's really intimidating. I like him a lot.
And it sort of has this thing with Dracula. We want to know why Dracula was so intimidating in the books because you barely met him.
Yeah.
And with Thanos, like you don't really see his power, but you just see him, and he's sitting.
There's this constant buildup of this guy's gonna fuck us up.
Yeah.
It's we're screwed. Like that moment in the end credits of Age of Ultron, I was just sort of sitting there. You hear like the safe start opening. It's like, what is this? And you see the gauntlet. It's like, no. And then you see the hand come into the gauntlet. No.
It's like, I'll
do it myself. No.
You don't want him. Yeah. So it's gonna be interesting to see him really face off with all the Avengers.
I'm excited, man. It's gonna be 2018, so far away. Okay.
It'll be here before you know it.
Yeah. July 2018, Black Panther. Is this just gonna become a running theme, man? I don't know. I don't know. I know it's set in Africa. I know they went there. They were in his home, his area in Age of Ultron, which a lot of people kind of pointed out, like, why didn't they see him? Why didn't he pop in? To which I'd say, I don't know.
He doesn't have a lot of oomph in the Marvel universe.
Does he really have powers, or is he kind of one of those people like Black Widow, where he's like?
No, I think he has like a lot. He has like Steve Rogers powers. Like he's really strong and stuff like that, acrobatic, and like I don't know, maybe he can talk to animals. I don't know if that's a thing. I really need to look into this.
Yeah.
So and like he is like the hero of that country because it is the source of all adamantium. And
Vibranium.
You could see how it could be
Vibranium.
an issue. Oh, vibranium and adamant. Yeah.
Or maybe adamantium. I don't know.
Both. All the nice metals just come from right there. And so, like, working with all of that, it probably does need some sort of defender because otherwise it would just go insane.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess all we can really say about this is it's Marvel. It'll probably be really good.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Like, if I could go into the Guardians of the Galaxy and come out crying, I'm sure they could do the similar with Black Panther.
Next is, I think, maybe actually has the most pressure out of everyone here, and that's just to make us take him seriously, and that's Aquaman.
Well, have you seen?
All I gotta say is Jason Momoa as Aquaman. Just you're not gonna joke about that. He will beat your ass into the ground.
So just to give you an idea of the power strength of Aquaman, he can go toe to toe with Superman underwater. He could kick Superman's ass at full power underwater.
Well, he fares pretty well above water too, because because there is the it's very scientific. It blew my mind how detailed they were scientifically with it, because he has to be able to survive the pressures of being that deep underwater. Yeah. So when he comes up, he's super strong.
He's like knife proof. So I mean,
his what is that? His trident can pierce Superman's skin.
Wow,
which blew my mind. I thought that was so cool.
Yeah,
but I mean, yeah, he's badass.
Well, his trident is also magical.
And
that's magic affects Superman just like it would anybody else. And he could be the reason that he gets so much heat is because you don't see him, and he's really good underwater. And everyone just assumes like, oh, there's not a lot of underwater adventures. And like you forget what a badass he can be when he needs to be.
Yeah,
he's sort of like Namor, the Submariner. In the Marvel universe, he's really cool, and he's manipulative too. He is on So in the Marvel universe, there are two big groups. You have the Illuminati and basically the anti-Illuminati. Namor is on both groups. It's like you don't really know where he stands.
Yeah.
And I think they did really good with that character. But we're talking about Aquaman, and he's a powerful character. They just need to make everyone know it.
Yeah,
they need to make him like punch Superman in the face and like just say what now and walk off. Or
right. But his villains, I know there's Submariner and there's Black Manta. That being said, I'm trying to think of who could. I know at one point they were talking about what's his name? Someone who a lot of people also said would be good for Green Lantern for Jon Stewart. Oh man, I can't think of it. That's racist old me. I can't think of.
They all look the same. No, don't take that
serious. No. But I'm sort of trying to think in that area. I don't know. Is he black in the comic?
Well, no, he is. Black Manta is a black.
Okay.
They're really disguising that one.
Idris Elba.
Yeah, that would be really good.
Idris Elba just needs to play everything. So I know they're talking about maybe making him Bond when
Janko from Janko Unchained.
Jamie Foxx.
Yes.
Okay, I could really see that. That'd be great.
Yeah. He did a fantastic Electro.
Oh God, he was so good. Then another thing, people just complain, why did he go evil? He went evil so fast. Like, no, if you paid attention, he got all the attention. He was scared, but he was excited about that. And then Spider-Man took all his attention. He didn't like that.
Well, he didn't go evil. At first he was obsessive, and then he just went crazy.
Yeah. Dude was batshit crazy. Come on. Let's see, where were we? Nearing the home stretch here. November 2018, we got Captain Marvel.
Ooh, I love Captain Marvel.
I don't know.
Captain Marvel.
I don't know.
Captain Marvel can go toe to toe with Superman because he's magically powerful. His enemies are part of the Marvel family, like Black Adam.
See, okay, wait. That's what I'm trying to think. So I'm right. There is a Captain, because this is Marvel Captain Marvel, because there's a Marvel Captain Marvel, and then Shazam's name is also Captain Marvel.
Oh wait, that's the one I'm thinking of. Okay,
so
I'm thinking of.
I don't know which one came first. All I know is it's confusing.
Wait, I'm trying to think of
It's Captain Marvel. I know it's a woman.
Oh, okay.
Because that's a lot of pressure on them is to have their first woman superhero with a solo film.
So the new Mary Marvel is they have she has it'll come to me. Fantastic Four, the stretchy guy, that guy. She sort of has his powers.
Oh,
and she can do all sorts of stuff with it. In the comics, she is the very first like Muslim superhero. Like that's what they've decided they're going to do with that. And it it'll be Mary Marvel, and she is basically a kick-ass character altogether. She can fly. She has some cool other abilities.
Yeah,
but I don't know who her villains are. I think they're generally just the Marvel villains because they're almost interchangeable. But I don't know so much. I'm much more of a DC Captain Marvel fan. I could splooge about him all day long.
Yeah.
But I don't know a whole lot about this Captain Marvel, like the Mary Marvel.
Okay, and ironically, that brings us into DC's Captain Marvel, into Shazam. We know Dwayne Johnson, The Rock himself, is playing Black Adam.
That will be amazing.
I'm into it. I don't know. The closest thing reference I have to Shazam is Justice League War, and then there's I can't remember what it's called to save my life. There's an animated film that's like 4 or 5 short films, and one of them is I think it's Superman Shazam is what it's called.
Yeah.
And which that was pretty cool. I like that. I like the idea of the character. It's pretty cool. You mentioned how big of a fan you are, and I'm curious. I was saving this from when we were talking about Channing Tatum as Gambit.
Yeah.
I think, from the very little I know, I think he would make a fantastic Shazam. I think he's got the look, he's got the build, and also I think of it for one reason, and that's if you watch his character in the Jump Street series, he's kind of got that adult with a child's mind.
Yeah.
Like there's the one bit when they're tripping in the second one, and he's in the Lambo, and the tiny little Lambo, and he's just like scooted on top, and he's just driving around. I got my Lambo. And the one that I really think is at the end of the first 21 Jump Street when Ice Cube is telling him since you guys like to fuck around with kids, give weed to kids, and drink with kids, I'm gonna send you to a place where all that is okay. And he goes, "Oh, I fucking love Disneyland." That reminded me so much of Shazam in Justice League War when he's like, because if you remember in that, he's like just constantly, he's trying to flirt with Wonder Woman the whole time.
Yeah, well,
and when she kicks his ass, he just has this hurt look on his face. And then when she leaves, he's like, she digs me.
And so,
we do have to find someone who kind of has that like childlike wonder to them, but at the same time, he's very passionate about trying to do the right thing, which I really love that.
The idea, like the reason the wizard's name is Shazam, who made him Captain Marvel, and the reason he chose a kid because kids are almost incorruptible. They know right from wrong, and when you choose an adult, they're already set in their ways. But if you teach them, like, this is right from wrong, I'm going to give you these powers and like this huge risk of you just being awful, but if I give these to you, you'll be able to be a good superhero and to make a good influence. And he in mine, he's a child. He's a 10-year-old.
Yeah.
So I mean, you gotta work with that.
Yeah. I find it very interesting that Black Adam was cast first, and that was that was well over a year ago.
Yeah. And
we still don't have a Captain Marvel.
Well, Black Adam is like it works so well with that actor. It really does.
Okay, next we have at least the end of the Avengers for right now, at least this set of Avengers, and that's Infinity War Part 2. And I think really just Thanos.
What if they introduced Norman Osborn? Because Norman Osborn is not exactly a powerhouse, but he is a big part of the Marvel Universe, especially in the villainy. At one point, he stole Iron Patriot's suit and masqueraded as him.
Yeah, that's right. I really think Infinity War Part 2 is going to be, they're going to bring in maybe not everyone that they've introduced, but quite a bit of people are going to get in on it. Because I know Thanos fucked everyone up.
No, yeah, he
twisted Spider-Man's head off. I think, what was it, with Cyclops trapped his head in the impenetrable glass bubble, so he shot off essentially burned his head off. Like, oh my god. But they have a lot of they're going to introduce so many characters by that point. They have the perfect opportunity to just bring everyone together.
Yeah.
I feel like it's just going to be everyone versus Thanos.
Now remember, you won't see any of the X-Men characters. They're owned by different. Yeah. And that sucks so much.
Unless they somehow find a way to share the rights, which is, everyone likes to say that Spider-Man's finally back with Marvel, which is true because he's in the universe. But Sony also does own some of the rights. They're kind of sharing them at this point. So, I mean, this is a long way away. We may see that with the X-Men and maybe Fantastic Four if, it works out. I'm hoping that it works out.
That would be nice if they could just, for one movie, make everyone happy.
Oh, yeah. They're going to make so much money off of it. I don't know how they haven't done it yet. June 2019, we have Justice League 2, which I have to say Darkseid.
Yeah, I mean, Darkseid will definitely be a part of that because he's such a powerhouse character and like introducing Apocalypse and Granny Goodness is probably the most terrifying villain. Okay, Granny Goodness is basically Darkseid's right hand man, and she's an old woman, but she teaches all of his assassins.
That's right. She was in Smallville.
Yeah,
I knew that name sounded familiar.
Granny Goodness is terrifying.
I love that show so much, by the way. And that's such a good show. It just got better and better.
What I stopped around like season 5 or something. It's like I realized Lex Luthor's not a bad person.
He's really not.
How did he become?
He was the nicest person in the world in the beginning. It was like, hey, Clark, here's a truck. Hey, person who snuck in and is obsessed with me and is trying to kill me. I'm going to pay for your therapy. It's okay. I just want you to be happy. The message of that show is don't be a dick to your friends. That's all it was. Lex wanted Clark to be his friend so bad. He just wanted to be his friend. He wanted him to be his family. And Clark was like, nah, fuck you, dude.
Clark's the asshole.
Clark is the asshole. That's the whole message to the series. And then eventually Lex is just the point of like, all right, fuck you. I'm done with you. I don't want to be your friend anymore. And then when I find out stuff about you, well, screw you. You could have told me. I would have been fine with it.
Yeah,
I would have been cool with it. We would have had fun with it.
I wouldn't have to try to kill you endless times in 12
Lex
years.
probably would have become a hero.
And
would have been by the logic of the Smallville universe. If he had just figured out Clark's secret early on when he was still his friend, he probably would have become his sidekick, which would be awesome to see.
And one of the universes where the Justice League is like the Justice Lords, and they like he's a good guy. And whenever they come over, they use
that was that Crisis on Infinite Earths? I saw that in the animated one.
To it,
yeah.
And like they Lex Luthor is the Justice League's friend, and he helps them a lot, which is really interesting. Also, he is Captain Marvel in one of the universes.
Really?
Which is really cool. So
that's intriguing.
It's wild. Okay,
I was really worried that wasn't recording for a second. I didn't see any. Okay, and the last one that we know of, at least. Very interesting way to end things. This is obviously not the end, but Inhumans. I know Jack.
You're right. I don't know anything about the Inhumans at all.
I tried. There's an animated film that I rented, and I sat through about 5 minutes of it, and it was... I don't know. The way they were telling the story, I was not into it.
Okay, in the Marvel... okay, you know Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., right? Okay, you've seen the new season on Netflix?
I've actually only seen the first episode, and I liked it okay, but
all right, so
I can't get excited about it. But I have been hearing that they're kind of working that.
At one point, you can introduce these bunch of characters that are endowed with these magical abilities. It's really interesting, and those are the Inhumans.
Yeah,
they're basically just like this large group of people who have powers. We're trying to get them, and they have their own agenda. Usually trying to like do their own peaceful thing, but their leader kind of went batshit, so I don't know what's gonna happen with them. But I really don't know much about the Inhumans. I wish my roommate is all about X-Men and he knows all about the Inhumans.
Right. I mean, once again, it's Marvel. It'll probably be good.
Yeah.
So I'm in. I'm into all of these. Just shut up and take all of my money. Take my future kids' college money. Take my family's money. Just take it all. Yeah, I'm in.
We don't need this. We just need to spend ludicrous amounts of money on seeing these movies.
Oh, of course. Well, that's all of the news and all of our opinions so far on the movie slate. Anything else you think about adding?
No. I can't think of any other like villains I'd like to see.
Yeah. You mentioned your blog. You can go ahead and just plug away.
Oh well, it's like on
plug away. If you got a blog, Tumblr, Twitter, whatever.
It's A Strange Professor, and it's just me with other characters acting like we know things, and it's hilarious and it's fun.
Interesting. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then as for mine, you can find me on Twitter at this is always weird to say at Cloudy Sky Gray, and that's where you'll find me. And then I also have my YouTube channel, Cloudy with a Chance of Gray. That made a lot more sense when I was going under a different name for the purposes of acting out in California, and it was a name that made sense. If you see any of the videos, you'll find out. But for right now, I think that is it for the first episode of Sunrise and Sunset. I am Skylar Clark Kent.
I am Caleb.
Geek out, everybody.